Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another East vs. West 17 pre-event interview. I'm your host, Ryan Turner, and I have the privilege today of sitting down with one of our strongest athletes, Corey West. We have a lot to get into here. He has a huge match on Saturday against Devon Larratt, defending the title of North America's Best on the left hand. But first, if you haven't yet, you can find a link to the pay-per-view in the description. Make sure you don't miss this historic event live on Saturday. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and you could be the lucky winner of a signed strap signed by Corey West. And with that out of the way, Corey, are you ready for Saturday?
So ready.
So ready.
So ready.
We're getting closer. We're filming right now, Thursday. Does the nerves start kicking in now? Do you have nerves ever? I mean, this is the biggest stage in arm wrestling.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I don't really get the nerve thing. It might come one day. Who knows? I feel like I've been blessed enough to constantly be in opportunities that I'm just appreciative to be in.
Just find yourself at East versus West one day. Oh, how'd I end up here?
I kind of joked with him in an interview before, but I was just watching him and Travis on TV just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
Here you are pulling against him. Yeah. Tell me what you thought when presumably Engen called you, set this match up, and you heard your opponent was going to be Devon Larratt. What went through your mind?
There was a few different phone calls that transpired. Yeah. It was kind of, will you pull this guy? Will you pull this guy? And I'd agreed to, kind of whatever they wanted to do, whatever worked for them. And then they had some shifts and some other matches that were better for some of the guys they'd asked me to, to compete against. And then they called me and were like, Devon. Me and Devon were actually supposed to have a match about a year ago. Yeah. I ended up with a partially torn rotator and had to back out of it. So that was,
Does that still bug you at all, or are you totally...
No, I'm good. Yeah,
really?
I'm really good.
You have to change your style at all?
Best I've ever been. Right?
Best you've ever been. We are going to get the best Corey West ever.
Yeah.
Whew, that's quite a statement, because we've seen you, when you get into your spot where you're the most comfortable, you might be one of the strongest arm wrestlers in the entire world, hands down. We saw it against Tobias, right? When you get in that strap and you get your spot, it's lights out. However, it seemed like you had some trouble getting there. Can you kind of walk us through that match? Could you not slip out? Was he too quick for you? Why do you think you lost that match when clearly the power was there?
Yeah. I'm still, even Tobias being a younger guy than me, been in the sport a lot longer than me, I still make my fair share of mistakes. Try to go a couple directions I probably shouldn't have tried to go. Ultimately the speed was a problem. It was just a problem. Yeah. I think if I ran it back today, it'd be a different story. I'll take from it what I can and move forward. So
you hear that, Engen? We might need a rematch here. With Devon, I want to read you a quote, and I just want to get your reaction to it. He said, in regards to yourself, you have nothing, no options, zero, nowhere. I will destroy him. Do you really have no options in this match?
No, he doesn't believe that.
He doesn't believe that? Really?
He's if we were talking about right-handed arm wrestling right now, I might buy that a little bit. But he's not to say he's not a great arm wrestler either side, but I think I pose a lot of problems for his left.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you think your biggest advantages are over Devon?
Just horsepower, I think. I mean, I don't want to get in a long war with him. I don't want to get in a mental battle with him. I just want to get up there and block it all out.
Do your thing.
Just try to destroy him.
I love it. Do you think you need a strap to win? Are you just way more comfortable in there? Are you going to try to get there?
So it's not necessarily the strap. With somebody like Tobias, the strap is an easy way to absorb the speed.
Yeah.
That's why it looked like such a different match.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to try to time to go with him. With the strap, all I have to do is rotate and pull backwards, and it's going to stop.
Yeah.
I had rather have the strap.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd rather be tied to somebody. But do I think it's necessary? No. Do I think that's where we'll end up? Yes.
With Devon, it's almost a guarantee. So I'm sure you've been practicing that. Speaking of practicing, can you tell us a little bit about your preparation for this match? Have you been pulling with Michael Todd a bunch? We know you two are buddies. who do you train with, or is it mostly weights on your own? How do you prep for a match like this?
Currently I still do a lot of traditional, just gym stuff. Me and Michael train generally one day a week. If everybody's around, he travels a lot. I do a lot of things. Currently I don't train as specific as I probably should, but that's all coming.
Okay, so you're not every day with Michael. You guys just
No, we do one day a week. I do 5 or 6 days. The other 5 or 6 days usually in the gym.
Fair enough.
I'm obviously it's worked for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that gym strength is the way.
Yeah.
For everybody. I've been able to work with what I have and the time frame that I have, and with whatever you want to call it, I'm
sure
one of the best in the world.
I sat down with Devin. He told me one of the things that worries him the most is what you did to that lock. Do you remember breaking that?
Yeah, that was a funny deal. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, it shook him, and we saw you deadlifting a car. Is most of your training general strength, or do you really get granular and train specific arm wrestling?
I don't train a lot of specific arm wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of lifts do you do?
Usually just I do a back, a bi, a try. I mean, I just do it. Yeah, I just do pretty traditional stuff. And then I was born with big joints and everything, so everything just developed well. And then I will say early on, the development was probably through the training with Michael.
Sure.
Because I used to live closer. We used to train more. But now, I could always be a better arm wrestler. Yeah. But I know how to arm wrestle. I know where I need to be strong. I know kind of what I need to do before a match to get where I'm at my best.
Right. Well, you said you're at your best right now, and you also said that you have trouble training because you just max out all the weight equipment. Is that a genuine problem, or is that
that's a problem that a lot of people have, though? It's like if you look at Larry, Larry has a new gym.
Yeah.
And he went through the trouble of spending a lot of money to have these machines with these massive stacks.
Right.
Yes, the gym I go to is a great gym.
Yeah.
Generally, I can max everything out and just single-handed reps for 30 or 40 reps.
And I'm sure these machines are made for two hands, but
they are. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Arm wrestler problems. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Tell me what about Devin worries you? What are his strengths that, I don't want to say keep you up at night? You seem like a pretty chill dude. I'm sure you sleep just fine. But what are you concerned about on his end? What about is it the mental game, the physical, his speed?
Yeah, just I just don't want to get in a drawn out battle with him. I mean, that's not gonna. There aren't many people on this earth that are gonna get in a. If he stops Levon right-handed, it turns into a bloodbath. Then Devin's the guy.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm not naive enough to think that that's the kind of battle I want with him.
Right. So you think if he stops the match, you're in trouble. Your plan is to just
I have a lot of options left-handed. So I mean, I don't want, like he said, he keeps saying 2 minutes. I think I'm good for more than 2 minutes, but I definitely don't want a long match.
Don't want a long match with Devin. No, sir. Can you take us through your headspace for a match? So I recall watching you with Tobias, and it seemed like you like to stay rather calm, right? Do you try to amp yourself up and just couldn't get there, or is it a strategy of yours to just stay cool and calm at the table? When you got your pin, you let it rip, and we were like, we want to see that fire at the start. And I'm wondering if you try to calm yourself down before the match.
No, not necessarily. Obviously, when I pulled Tobias, and I wasn't prepared for the speed, that'll kind of take the wind out of your sails.
I'm sure.
It'll make you wonder if it's even close.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts you in a thought process where your wheels are kind of spinning.
Right.
You're just trying to figure it out.
Right. Your plan, it's not going to plan, basically,
right.
And you have to adjust on the fly.
Right.
So, question about your history with Devin. Have you guys gripped up practice table? You haven't had a super match, but what is your history there?
Yeah, like I said, we were supposed to pull about a year ago. I believe the first time. I wouldn't really. So me and Devin were on the same card when the first time he pulled Levon.
Yeah.
Where he tore his bicep.
All right.
And we were in a big gym out there in Dubai, and Devin's in a sling, and he's still trying to. But I mean, he had no resistance. I don't put any kind of stock in that. We played around some at King of the Table out in New Jersey. Again, I don't put a lot of stock in. I'm fully aware that there's a real Devin and there's a practice Devin.
Yep.
but there's a real me, and there's a practice me.
Yeah, that leads me to another thing that Devon said. He said, something in me comes out on game day, and you haven't felt that yet. Did that worry you at all? You were in that call when he said that. Do you think there's a whole nother level to Devon that you're not ready for? Or do you think you got it?
No, I don't. I mean, I think I look forward to it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're a guy in my position. I'm 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
As far as North America goes in my division, besides the guys that have been around for a long time, it's just me.
How'd you get there?
So, it's all, yes, I want to kill Devon.
Yeah.
I want to do just the same thing I did to Travis.
Yeah.
But all of it's a part of the process.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot to be learned about pulling Devon.
Yeah.
Whether it be a mental toughness, a mental awareness that only he can bring.
Right.
There'll be a lot of takeaway from it. A lot of positive growth.
Yeah. You're a smart man, Corey. And that actually helps answer my next question, which is, what does it take to get to the top of, North America, an entire continent? You're the guy. How did you get there? It sounds like you're actually very methodical in your thinking, analytical, but obviously you have physical gifts as well. But to everyone out there who looks up to you and admires you, what do you have to say to them? What does it take to get to this elite level that you've found yourself at?
Man, I don't even know. I somehow, it's a crazy deal. I've just a lot of being competitive more than anything, and not really willing to let anything stop you. We were talking earlier, I used to do the car stuff, and I just get obsessed until I can be, if I can't be the best, I don't have any interest in doing it.
Right.
So kind of just a lot of thought process on how to get to where you want to go. But anything's possible. I mean, it's crazy. I think back on, I come from a really small town, never would have dreamed any of this stuff up. There was even a point in my life where I was so overweight that I don't have any goals or ambitions, and just something changed. And then it was like, once I realized that I was capable of anything, it was like, well, what do I want to do? And now first it was cars, and now it's become arm wrestling, and I don't see this going anywhere.
Good. And you said you're actually, if I heard correctly, going to be able to commit even more time to arm wrestling soon.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. After May 31st, I will no longer be a full-time employee anywhere, and I will have time to pursue this to the fullest.
So we've been getting part-time Corey.
Yeah.
We're about to get full-time arm wrestler.
Yeah, I leave at about 5:30 in the morning and make it to the gym at about 8:30 in the evening, train for an hour, get home at 10, fall asleep, do it all over again. So
that's terrifying.
It's been exhausting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. I think it's going to make the next step better.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a real appreciation for what time is.
Yeah.
And what I can do with it.
Okay. Are you the underdog?
Everybody is against Devon. Somehow he can turn Levon into the underdog. I've seen him do it. Like, get killed by him, and then
He's a special guy.
Yeah, he's different, man. He's a gifted human.
In your eyes, though, do you think Devon has the edge in this? Like, do you look at this saying, I shouldn't win this match? No. You think?
No. I got something he wants. He's gonna have to come get it.
Whew, you heard it here first. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We are very excited for Saturday. I want to end with giving you the floor. Do you have a message for Devon?
He knows what's coming. He's not ready.
He's not ready. Corey, thank you so much. Once again, everybody, this match is going down Saturday. You can find a link to the pay-per-view in the description. Also, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You could win a signed strap from Corey West. Corey, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Take care, everyone.